Hello, my name is Josh Obert, and I'm a GIS analyst with the ACPF National Hub. In this video, we're going to discuss the third utility provided by the ACPF Toolbox, Update Edited Field Boundaries. The ACPF Field Boundaries dataset has been assembled to support field-level agricultural conservation planning. The original data used to create this database are the pre-2008 Farm Bill FSA Common Land Unit datasets. Users of the ACPF Toolbox may find it necessary to update these data to reflect current conditions. The relationship between the field boundary feature class and the land use lookup tables requires a one-to-one relationship based upon the field boundary ID field. If the field boundary feature class is edited, this relationship will be corrupted. The Update Edited Field Boundaries tool will rebuild the land use lookup tables based on the contents of an edited field boundary feature class using the NAS CDL rasters present in the watersheds file database. The process begins by the user inputting an edited version of the original field boundary feature class. The user must make a copy of the original field boundary feature class for editing purposes. The original feature class is an invalid input to this tool. Alternatively, the user could use a completely different field boundary feature class that is not a copy of the original. If so, this feature class must be named using the same structure as noted in the slide. When running the tool for the first time, the original field boundary feature class will be renamed to append _ORIG to the feature class name. Only existing watershed land use rasters will be used to update the new land use lookup table. The land use rasters must be named as WSCDL and the year. The rot val field must exist and be populated in each land use raster. The appropriate values for rot val can be found in the ACPF land use lookup table, which is located in the base directory of the ACPF Toolbox download folder. A minimum of 6 years of land use data must exist locally for the tool to run. The user may exclude small fields from processing by assigning a numeric value to the less than feature size argument. The default is 10 acres, and the minimum value is 5 acres. Any field that has an area less than or equal to the input value will be assigned a general land use value of less than 10 acres or whatever the input value entered. In ArcGIS Pro, we will begin by opening the catalog window in the right side of the screen, if it isn't already open, by clicking the catalog tab. We will then navigate to our ACPF Geo database, click on and hold onto our edited field boundaries and drag them into the map. We will expand our ACPF toolbox and expand the utilities section. Double-click the Update Edited Field Boundaries tool to open. This tool needs 4 inputs. The first input is our edited field boundaries. Since we added it to our map, we'll choose it from the first dropdown. The second input is our less than feature size value, and we'll keep the default of 10 acres. The third input is our land use lookup table. Click on the folder next to the input. We will navigate to the folder that contains the ACPF Toolbox as the land use lookup table was provided with it in the download. You'll be able to see it as called CDL LKUP. Click OK. The last input is the field boundary update year. This would be the year of the data, which may or may not be the current year. For this run, we'll just put in 2024. Click Run to run the tool. The Update Edited Field Boundaries tool has finished running. So let's click on the Catalog tab to open up the catalog and expand our ACPF Geo database. If we look down at the field boundaries, we now see that there are 3 sets of field boundaries. We have our edited version that we had used to run the tool. We now have an _original, which was the original field boundaries before the edited. And then the base field boundaries feature class is now our new field boundaries feature class. So let's click, hold, and drag it onto the map. Right-click on our field boundaries and choose Attribute Table. Looking at the attribute table, it may look very similar. However, you'll probably see a different number of records in the table, and for this one, we have 2024 in the update year. If we click and hold and drag the original ones and open that attribute table, we have the original update year of 2021. So we do know that the tool ran. You'll also have an updated land use table and an updated crop history table. To recap, we discussed why you would need to run the Update Edited Field Boundaries utility. The next video will be the fourth utility, Project ACPF File Geodatabase to New Spatial Reference.